Hello and welcome. I'm Financial Services Council Media Manager Mark Smith. Thanks for joining us. New technologies are bringing efficiencies to the way payments are processed in the financial services industry, but what does it mean for the rest of the sector? Adrian, let's start with you. What is the MPP and when will it become available?
So the new payments platform is brand new payments infrastructure for the Australian economy. It will support faster, simpler, smarter payments between Australian bank accounts and financial institution accounts, and it will go live in early 2018.
Fantastic. How does that compare to similar systems internationally?
Payments will be settled in central bank money in real time, 24/7, 365. It will also be one of the first systems in the world to use the ISO 20022 data standard. And finally, the way the infrastructure has been designed, it will allow products to be developed over time to meet the needs of community.
Great. And one of the first products to use the platform is known as OSCO. Can you tell us about OSCO?
So OSCO is a relatively simple product that will be launched when the platform goes live in February 2018. And it will provide fast, real-time payments between individuals or payments between an individual and a business. It will also enable documents, like a PDF document, to be sent along with a payment. And shortly after the OSCO product is launched, it will also introduce a request to pay feature.
Well, that sounds really easy for the end consumer. What's Pay ID?
So Pay ID is a replacement, an optional replacement for a BSB and account number. And that's a unique, memorable identifier. Using a Pay ID makes it simpler and easier and more memorable as an address to which payments can be sent, and it will also include additional functionality that will help to reduce misdirected payments.
Now, Kees, you're Swift's commercial director. We've all heard of Swift codes when we're sending money overseas, but how do you guys fit into the new payments platform?
Look, I'll answer that by providing a brief history of Swift. So we actually established over 40 years ago as a non-profit industry-owned organisation to meet the needs of the cross-border banking space at the time. And we built a global network, very secure, robust, resilient network. And we worked with the industry to design market practice and a set of standardised messages which will be exchanged over the network. And over the last 40 years, we've gone into other industries, into the security space very heavily as well. So in an MPP context, we've taken the experience that we've built up over the last 40 years. We're reusing some of the components from that global network to build the basic infrastructure, or the rails, that the MPP will run on, and on top of which the product layer will sit. We're also contracted to operate that system for a period of 10 years.
So you've built the platform, but a significant component is coming from the standard, ISO 20022. What does this bring to the industry?
It's probably easiest to think of it as a recipe to define financial standards. So you have the business model, the data dictionary, and then the syntax, or a physical catalogue of messages. It is a globally used standard, and it's XML based, and that's got a couple of advantages. It means that it's much easier for vendors to integrate with. And it also enables the inclusion of very rich data sets, and that for the MPP is quite important. Locally, adoption of ISO 20022 also means that MPP is aligned with other industries or other parts of the financial industry. So for example, ASX is using ISO 20022 for their CHESS replacement system. They already offer a corporate actions announcement service using the standard. In the fund space, order processing automation is based on the standard. And corporate organisations can use ISO 20022 as a messaging standard to instruct their banks to make payments. And what that means is, for organisations that operate in multiple parts of the financial industry, they're going to start to see alignment in the way they communicate with their counterparties. And that brings across efficiencies and ultimately takes cost out of the system.
So what opportunities do you see specifically for members in the Financial Services Council's area of influence out
there are a significant number of opportunities, and given the features of the MPP, the fast 24/7 nature of the payment, the richer data, the addressing or the Pay ID service, it could be something as simple as the renewal of an insurance policy using the request to pay feature. It could be the streamlining of the application process for managed funds, where you see alignment of the data and the application monies. We know the ASX is thinking about using NPP to offer real-time or intraday settlement, and they replace their CHESS system. Ultimately, though, I think we've seen a couple of significant areas where the MPP will add value in the near and the short term, the medium term. The first of those is in the superannuation space. So we had a hypothesis that the MPP would enable the contribution monies to be invested much more quickly. And we're midway through a consultation process with the industry, and there seems to be consensus between the funds, the industry bodies, and the administrators that this is a practical application of the MPP, and it's quite desirable as well. So you imagine you as a super fund account holder, if your contribution monies are invested a couple of days earlier every month, every year, over the lifetime of your fund, or your account. When you come to draw down on that, the balance should be higher. And that's a good thing for you, it's a good thing for the fund. Broadly, it's a good thing for the economy. We've also been talking with the industry about how the data component of the MPP could be used to align the contribution data with the payment. The second area is in corporate actions processing. Now, this has long been held to be one of the most inefficient areas in securities back and middle office processing. So the custodians, share registries, the stock exchange, they've all shown an interest in how the MPP might be used to speed up and streamline the flow of outbound payments, so something like a corporate action distribution, a dividend payment, takeover proceeds, where you have, using the document with payment feature, the statement coming out with the payment on a real-time basis. And on the inbound side, you have the registries thinking about how they can use the request to pay feature to streamline the capital raising process, so priority offers, IPOs potentially. So a significant number of areas where this can be used.
Adrian, what should FSC members be doing to prepare for the arrival of the MPP?
Many organisations have set up their business processes to align with the limitations of the current payment system. So in a real-time 24/7 365 environment, what does that change mean to your business processes? There are going to be different challenges in industry verticals that the NPP is well placed to help fix because of its combination of 24/7 365 availability, data richness, settlement in central bank money, which will mean it's useful for large amounts of money rather than just small amounts of money, as well as the PayID addressing service. So I think they're some of the things that your members should be thinking about.
Great, thank you. So a seemingly simple efficiency upgrade coming to the way payments are processed by financial services institutions, but no limit to the way that organisations can get creative about the way they get on board with it. Hopefully you can get your thinking caps on. Thanks for joining us.